Wanda has taken the situation to a whole new level. What began as tension, minor disputes, and public comments has now entered a courtroom, and the implications are massive. Melody, who has long been seen as composed, strong, and strategic, is now facing evidence that could challenge her entire public persona. The courtroom was not just a place to voice opinions. It became a stage for facts, documents, and proof, and Wanda came prepared. This was no social media drama. This was real, tangible, and high stakes. Fans who have followed Melody over the years knew her as someone who carefully managed her image in business, someone who built a life for herself and her family with meticulous planning. But even the strongest plans can be tested when evidence is placed in front of the public, and Wanda made sure everyone saw what she had. The tension between Wanda and Melody did not start overnight. It had been building quietly behind the scenes for years. Fans witnessed moments, comments, and exchanges on social media that hinted at friction, but it was often dismissed as minor disagreements or personal differences. Melody's ability to remain calm, even when provoked, had earned her admiration. She rarely responded impulsively and focused on her growth and stability. Wanda, however, took a different approach. She was outspoken, blunt, and often crossed boundaries that some thought should have remained private. Over time, what began as small conflicts escalated, becoming deeply personal. And when conflicts involve family, children, and personal reputation, the stakes are higher than anyone on the outside can truly understand. In the courtroom, Wanda presented her evidence with precision. She didn't rant on social media or try to gain sympathy online. Instead, she relied on documents, screenshots, audio recordings, and witness statements to build a narrative that challenged the image Melody had carefully constructed over years. Those who were inside the courtroom described a shift in energy the moment Wanda began presenting her case. Even Melody's supporters were forced to reconsider, pausing to take in what was being revealed. For someone who has always been seen as unshakable, even a moment of being caught off guard sends a strong message. This was not an attack based on gossip. It was a carefully prepared presentation aimed at showing patterns and actions that had been hidden from the public eye. Melody has always been recognized for her intelligence, resilience, and strategic mindset. She planned her steps ahead of time, built her brand with care, and created a life that represented stability and growth. But no matter how prepared a person is, life has ways of testing even the most calculated strategies. The public nature of this confrontation adds layers of complexity. Every movement, every facial expression, and every reaction is now under scrutiny. Fans and critics alike dissect every second of court footage, social media commentary, and interviews. The court is no longer just a legal arena. It has become a public stage where perception and reality intersect. Wanda's evidence, according to insiders, was detailed. She did not focus on minor mistakes or trivial disputes. She highlighted patterns of behavior that suggested manipulation and careful image management. The evidence painted a picture of someone who could provoke conflict while maintaining a public image of composure. For many fans, this was shocking. Melody's brand had always been one of strength and integrity. To see it challenged in such a concrete way caused uncertainty. Questions arose not just about her past actions, but also about the very narrative fans had been told over the years. The courtroom became a turning point where perception and reality clashed in ways that social media alone could never achieve. Throughout this ordeal, Melody's response has been measured. She has chosen silence over confrontation, allowing legal counsel to handle the narrative. Some fans view this as smart strategy, a way to maintain dignity and avoid making impulsive statements that could be used against her. Others interpret the silence as hesitation or being caught off guard. Regardless of interpretation, the fact remains that when matters are handled in a courtroom, privacy is fragile. Leaks occur, public opinion forms, and every action is scrutinized. The pressure of these circumstances can test anyone, no matter how experienced or strategic. The public aspect of this case has amplified the tension. Every side-eye on camera, every cryptic social media post, and every comment is now analyzed for hidden meaning. Fans are dissecting old videos and interviews, trying to piece together the truth. What once seemed minor or irrelevant now carries weight. The battle between perception and reality is ongoing, and Wanda has positioned herself as someone relying on facts rather than feelings. This distinction matters because in the court of public opinion, the difference between emotion and evidence can be decisive. Wanda's choice to present her case in a formal legal setting demonstrates the seriousness of her claims and her intent to influence both the legal outcome and public perception. For Melody, the consequences extend beyond personal reputation. Her family, children, and business interests are now in the spotlight. Allegations, even if not proven in court, can have lasting impacts. In the world of reality television mixed with real-life consequences, image is everything. Years of cultivating a reputation can be threatened by a single legal case or well-presented evidence. Melody faces critical decisions, whether to deny claims, provide counter-evidence, or negotiate a settlement to prevent further damage. Every option carries risks, and timing is crucial. The courtroom will not wait, and neither will public opinion. Wanda's supporters view this as a moment of truth. For them, the courtroom confrontation confirms suspicions that Melody's public persona may not reflect her true behavior. They praise Wanda's courage in presenting evidence rather than relying on social media drama. For Melody's loyalists, however, this is seen as an unfair attack. They argue that Wanda's long-standing fixation has found an outlet, and that the allegations may not reflect reality. Social media is ablaze with debates. Video clips are shared and reanalyzed, and old interviews are revisited with a new perspective. This dynamic illustrates how public opinion can form quickly, often before the facts are fully revealed. The courtroom is more than a place for facts. It is a space where strategy, narrative control, and perception meet. Both Wanda and Melody understand this implicitly. Every document presented, every statement made, and every reaction has the potential to shape the story. Witnesses are scrutinized, evidence is examined, and attorneys work meticulously to craft a compelling narrative. The intersection of law and public perception makes this situation complex. It is no longer just about who is right or wrong. It is about influence, control, and maintaining credibility under intense scrutiny. Beyond the legal battle, the emotional stakes are enormous. Melody faces not just allegations, but the impact on her mental health and family. Imagine years of carefully managing an image, building a brand, and maintaining stability, only to face public claims that challenge the very essence of that image. For Wanda, there is the weight of ensuring that the evidence presented is accurate, verifiable, and compelling. Mistakes or exaggerations could backfire, damaging credibility and undermining the case. Both women are navigating a high-pressure situation with long-term consequences. The conflict also highlights the challenges of living a public life. When personal disputes become public, privacy is limited. Every action is interpreted, and every silence carries meaning. Melody's decision to remain quiet is strategic, but it also carries risk. Silence can be interpreted as strength or as vulnerability, depending on perspective. Wanda's decision to act formally rather than impulsively is similarly strategic, signaling confidence and preparation. This clash between preparation and perception, strategy and emotion defines the current moment. Legal battles in public settings often reveal more than the immediate dispute. They expose relationships, alliances, and patterns of behavior. Friends, associates, and former collaborators are drawn in, often involuntarily. Statements from the past are revisited, and old decisions are analyzed in the context of new evidence. This creates a ripple effect, impacting not just the primary parties, but everyone connected to the situation. For Melody, this means that past actions, even those made with good intentions, could be interpreted differently in light of Wanda's evidence. The stakes are far-reaching, and the pressure is intense. The narrative also raises questions about perception and reality. For years, fans have watched Melody navigate public life with poise and strategy. Her image has been one of resilience and intelligence. Wanda's claims challenge that perception, introducing doubts and prompting fans to reconsider what they thought they knew. The level of detail in Wanda's evidence adds weight to the challenge. By presenting patterns, documented actions, and corroborating witnesses, Wanda positions herself as a credible source, challenging the established narrative. This confrontation underscores how even carefully managed public images can be vulnerable when challenged by evidence. Every action Melody takes now is under scrutiny. Her response, whether public or private, will influence how the story unfolds. Legal counsel will guide decisions, but public perception is shaped independently. Fans, critics, and media outlets will continue to analyze every detail, creating a complex feedback loop. In this environment, managing both legal strategy and public image becomes essential. Missteps could have consequences that extend beyond the courtroom, affecting reputation, business, and relationships. The ongoing situation also demonstrates the intersection of personal, legal, and public pressures. Legal proceedings are formal and fact-based, but public opinion is emotional and subjective. Melody must navigate both realms simultaneously. Each piece of evidence, each witness testimony, and each public interaction carries implications. Decisions must be made carefully, balancing transparency with strategy, honesty with discretion. The ability to maintain composure and respond effectively under pressure will define the outcome. Wanda's strategy of presenting evidence rather than relying on social media is significant. Social media can amplify emotion but lacks verification. The courtroom, however, demands proof and provides a platform for structured presentation. By choosing this path, Wanda demonstrates not only confidence in her claims, but also an understanding of narrative control. This approach puts Melody in a position where her response must be measured, as public opinion may shift rapidly based on courtroom developments. The unfolding conflict also reminds us of the complexities of human behavior. People are multifaceted, and public personas may not always reflect private actions. Wanda's evidence suggests that there may be a divergence between Melody's public image and private behavior. Whether this perception is accurate or not remains to be determined in court. Nevertheless, the situation illustrates how scrutiny, evidence, and strategy intersect in high-stakes scenarios. Family and personal consequences are also central to this conflict. Allegations in a public legal setting can impact children, relationships, and mental well-being. Melody's careful management of her public image has always been about creating stability and resilience. Now, that stability is challenged, requiring careful navigation of both personal and public dimensions. The emotional impact of these circumstances cannot be understated, as the weight of public scrutiny can amplify stress and pressure. As the case continues, every detail becomes significant. Documents, witness statements, and courtroom interactions are analyzed not just for legal relevance, but also for narrative impact. Fans and critics dissect every moment, creating a layered dynamic where perception and reality constantly interact. The public nature of the dispute amplifies stakes and forces both Wanda and Melody to consider the long-term consequences of their actions and strategies. Ultimately, this conflict is about more than individual victories. It is about control, credibility, and influence. Wanda seeks to present facts to challenge a carefully constructed narrative. Melody faces the task of defending her integrity and managing both public and private consequences. Every choice made in the courtroom, every reaction displayed publicly, and every strategic decision will shape the ongoing story. The situation serves as a reminder that even strong images are vulnerable under scrutiny, and that reputation, while carefully built, can be tested when evidence surfaces. The unfolding story continues to captivate audiences because it combines personal conflict, public perception, and tangible evidence. Fans watch not only to understand what happened, but also to witness how individuals navigate complex, high-pressure situations. The narrative demonstrates how strategic thinking, preparation, and careful presentation intersect with emotional intelligence and resilience. Melody and Wanda's confrontation offers lessons about perception, preparation, and the power of evidence in shaping narratives. As the legal process progresses, the outcomes remain uncertain. Melody may choose to provide counter-evidence, negotiate settlements, or rely on strategic silence. Wanda will continue to present evidence and shape her narrative. The interplay of facts, perception, and emotion will define the trajectory of the story. Every document, statement, and courtroom exchange has potential implications. In public conflicts of this nature, perception can sometimes weigh as heavily as fact, creating a delicate balance between strategy, truth, and image. This confrontation also highlights the complexities of living a public life. Public scrutiny amplifies every decision, every reaction, and every mistake. For Melody, the challenge lies in maintaining composure while defending herself. For Wanda, the task is to ensure evidence is compelling and credible. Both parties must navigate not only the legal system, but also the court of public opinion, where emotions, speculation, and loyalty intersect. The situation is far from over. Every day brings new developments, insights, and revelations. Social media continues to amplify every detail, while legal proceedings advance in structured and formal ways. Fans and critics remain engaged, analyzing the conflict from every angle. For Melody, the next steps will be crucial in shaping public perception and legal outcomes. For Wanda, the presentation of evidence and narrative control remains central to the strategy. The intersection of law, perception, and personal impact ensures that the story will remain relevant for months to come. In conclusion, Wanda and Melody's confrontation is a high-stakes scenario that extends beyond simple disputes. It involves evidence, perception, strategy, and personal impact. Melody's strength, planning, and composure are tested under intense scrutiny, while Wanda leverages evidence and strategy to challenge the established narrative. The situation is complex, emotionally charged, and far-reaching. It serves as a reminder that public personas are vulnerable, that evidence can shift perception, and that strategy is essential in navigating high-stakes conflicts. The courtroom is now the stage where reputations, credibility, and influence are contested, and the world is watching every move. The story is still unfolding, and each development brings new insights. Fans, insiders, and casual observers are all part of the process, watching how Melody and Wanda navigate this challenging and public situation. Every piece of evidence, every reaction, and every strategy employed will shape the ongoing narrative. The implications are significant, affecting personal relationships, public perception, and long-term reputations. As events continue to unfold, the courtroom and public attention ensure that this confrontation will be remembered as a defining moment for both women.